Okay, so I think we will be expecting people to stream in,
Mm-hmm.
but in order not to
They
waste
stroll
any,
in.
yeah, in order to not to waste any time, maybe I will start this. All right?
Sure. We're late
Okay.
anyway. If I'm
Yeah,
fine, I'll be very angry.
yeah. Okay. So, hi everyone. Welcome to the Trusted Industry Expert Interview Series. Okay, today's interview title is How to Plan a Power Packed Event Using a Simple 6A Framework. Okay, a simple but powerful 6A framework. My name is Haridas, and today I'll be speaking to Singapore's event extraordinaire, Miss Annie Chan. Okay, right. Welcome, Annie.
Hello, thank you for having me. But I think that personally, I think that hat is a rather big hat. All right, I don't want. I feel very honored and very humbled that you put that title on me. So it can be very stressful. All right, but I think like I say, we are all event expert. I've got my other pool of friends out there. All of us are event experts. So I think we all learn from one another. We all have our strength. We all have our weakness. It's just that we see how do we best tap on what work best for our clients. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I actually have seen you in action, and I swear to God, you are the event extraordinaire.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
okay. So, Miss Eddie, just a little bit background of
Sorry,
Miss.
can you drop the miss?
Okay,
I feel very missed.
okay. So, Annie has actually a little background on her. She has organized over thousands of events and helped hundreds of people plan for the events as well. Right, Annie is a veteran in the area of event planning and operations, with no less than 20, 20 years of events and related experience under her belt. Okay, a fun fact about Annie: to date, Annie and her team still holds the unrivaled record of planning and executing no less than 1,000 single events in a span of 2 years. Okay, so let's put it into perspective. That's 1,000 single events in the span of 2 years in Singapore. For me, I cannot even fathom that, but it must have been hard work. We'll get into that later as well. Okay,
That's
right
actually 1.5 events a day.
there you go, there you go, and that's why I cannot think how
Imagine.
you actually accomplish that. So we are indeed very privileged to have a true master as our guest on this episode of Trusted Industry Expert. Uh, Members, whoever is joining us today would be really in for a treat. Lesson learned, right? Annie, thank you again for joining us on this live interview. So I just want to lay the foundation on how this is going to go. It will be in two parts, right? The first part is a get to know Annie session, right? And the second part would be where Annie would spill the beans on the 6A framework that she has. Okay, is that okay, Annie?
Yep. Good.
Okay, good. So Annie, just before we go, I think I know why. Because you are not on Wi-Fi, right? That's why it's a little bit blur on your side now. Earlier it was clearer.
Really? So you can't hear me very well?
No, your image.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, wait. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, yeah. I just noticed on Facebook. Hang on. I'm on my hotspot.
Okay, now it's better.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think I will not put it down. I just leave it out there.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Hi, Danny Chin.
Hi,
Welcome.
Danny.
Okay, I'm not familiar with Danny. Are you familiar with Danny, Annie?
Yes, I know who's Danny. Danny's also
Uh,
in the community learning group.
I see.
Community.
You've gone blur again, by the way.
Okay, okay. I gotta apologize for this. I'm not sure why. Because like say like the Wi-Fi here is having issues. So I'm on my hotspot, so I guess because of that, it's not being very useful. Okay, so but like I say, such things do happen, so I must apologize for that. But I think important you all can hear me, right?
Yeah. It's helpful that you're a natural beauty. So uh,
Maybe that's why they need to blur me out a bit lah, so that
yeah,
you look better.
yeah. Okay, let's get on to the first part, Annie. It's fun. It's already fun talking to you. Uh, I can hear Annie well. Thanks, Danny. Thank you so much. Um, the first part of it. When did you tell us? When did you get started in this whole event planning thing, making it as a
How I
career?
first began. Okay, actually, to be very honest, right? My very first career was actually a PR person. So I started out in public relations, right? And how I got into public relations was even more interesting. My very first boss was looking for an event executive, no, a PR executive, and her last few executive couldn't last for a very simple reason because of where the office was located.
Ah,
Okay, so when my one of my relatives who knows her recommended me and said, "Hey, my niece is looking for a job," blah blah blah. I called her. I then the first question she asked me, "Okay, you know where our office is?" I said, "Yes." "How long does it take for you to come to work every day?" So I say, okay, minus the waiting time, 10 minutes bus ride. She said, "Okay, then you come in for the interview." So that's how I got the interview. So I went there. She just asked me that few one, two question. Or do you think you want to do events? Do you want to do this? I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm just fresh out of poly, so yeah, why not? She said, okay. So when do you start work? Monday. That's how I got my first job.
okay, that's interesting.
So actually, I'm trained as a PR person first. Right? She trained me as a PR person, so I learned the tricks about PR, how to write press releases, and so on and so forth. All right, so and then from there, because in PR we also run events, we run press conferences, we create events for special product launch and all that. So that's how I got into events. So that's like more than 20 over years ago.
Okay, so that was I think a fresh out of poly would mean that you were 18.
I was 21 because I went to the junior college first.
Ah,
So
okay,
about 20,
okay.
21, there about. Are you trying to find out how young I am?
The audience would love to know that. I think the members here. Okay. So I mean, so when did you actually change into events?
I don't know, when we do PR, we were already doing events because we organize press conference, right? Then we organize like new product launch. So we were already doing it. But I would say maybe about 2 years into it, then I moved into more events. And then along the way, I had a chance to try mainstream advertising, which I didn't like it. Then I went back to events.
Mm.
So yeah, so I would say that I kind of like move around PR, advertising events about maybe a good 5 6 years. Then I went stay on in events thereafter.
So 5 to 6 years, you were gaining experiences doing PR and events, and I also understand that you have a company called Red Box Event.
Yeah, yeah.
When did that start, and how did it start?
Oh, that started only in 2003. So I actually had a burnout. To be very honest, I after about a good 10 years in events, I actually burned out, and I quit the company I was working, and I actually went into financial planning for a year, enjoying only the coffee and the tea and the chit chat session. All right, not quite enjoying the actual work. So after a year, I said no, that's not for me, and then that's where I returned to events industry, and I stuck on since then. So 2003, I had a chance to start Redbox events by chance because the company that I was working for, they decided to shift their focus into sound, light, and video, right? So they decided that the events department were to be removed, and me and my business partner, no, me and my colleague, which ended up being my business partner, then we spoke to our bosses and said, hey, why like that? And then we were like, huh, then what are we gonna do? So it was just out of fun. We just said, hey, why don't we just start our own company? All right, and our bosses then say that sure, if you're interested, take all the clients.
Ah,
So
nice.
that's how we started, and they of course they also being in the sound like video industry, they basically supported us for the sound like video. So
Ah,
I would say that we had an easy start in that sense.
okay. I mean that you
Mm.
should have to take over a department and make it a business. You must have had some business acumen. You must have had that foresight to say it's going to be successful, or was it purely passion driven?
I would say both, because we're enjoying doing events and all that kind of thing, right? So, and partly also because we were basically handling the client anyway. All right. So to the bosses, then it's like rather than this set of client lands into some other events company, might as well I let my current staff who are already servicing the client take over the entire client. So basically, there's it's also good for the client, right? Because the client has worked with us so closely, so they know how we work, right?
Mm,
So I would say at that point it was really pure just passion and say, hey, then what we're gonna do, right? So might as well we just take over.
mm, mm.
Yeah. So but
This,
along the way, a lot of learning curve, from just a staff ending up being a business owner. There's a lot of things we have to learn, and we just learn along the way, lah.
yeah, so that nicely leads me to my next question to you.
Mm.
A lot of businesses, or people who start business, they only look at the rosy part. But in
Mm.
this show, I like to highlight that there are challenges as well in terms of starting a business, right? So in your when you started your red box events, what were some of the challenges that actually drove you crazy, or you and your partners had squabbles over? Can you share some incidences or
Okay,
challenges?
I would say that the biggest challenge that most of us, or rather we faced, was really financial,
Mm,
really financial situation, right?
mm,
Because we were new, we are not sure how should we go about. So yeah, we took out money to invest, and then we run the whole show and all that, right? So but we were very thankful because from our work itself, we really realized that how we need to make sure that the cash flow is there. I mean, even
mm,
as a staff, we also need to ensure cash flow is there for the management, right?
mm,
So I think that kind of helps. But along the way, we also realize that there is a differentiation. Managing cash flow as a staff and managing cash flow as a boss, there
mm.
is a big differentiation.
All
And
right.
we had the largest breakup call was one of our major clients. We had some payment issue. I think because me and my partner, we believe in ensuring that our staff are always paid on time, they are always well taken care of. So when we had that issue, we actually had to sit down with our staff. That time we had only two staff, young girl, not much commitment. So we actually sat them down and we explained the situation, which they were fully aware of. And we say that we apologize, we may need their help. And that help means that can they go without salary for the next 3 months first? We'll
Mm,
pay the CPF and all that, right? But can they support us by um, holding back their salary for like 3 months? And we told them, we say, this is our request. But if the answer is no, no worry, we'll still pay them in full, and we will part company like Sui will part company. And we were very, very thankful. Without battling an eyelid, the two of them said yes. We
mm,
even told them, no, go back and think about it after the weekend, then come back and tell us, right?
mm,
They both of them just look at each other and like, it's okay, no problem.
mm,
So we're very, very thankful when we managed to sort out all the payment and all that, right? We paid them all in full, including bonuses we gave them. We even brought them to Bangkok for a shopping trip, all expense paid. So
ah, nice.
we're very thankful because I think we always believe in, like, not holding back our suppliers payment, not holding
Mm,
back our staff payment, because at the end
mm,
of the day, people work, people deliver what they have to do. Is the least we could do, but make sure we pay them.
mm.
All right, so I think that's one of the biggest things, and also one of the challenge. So me and my partner, we literally went without like salary because we had to make sure that they get paid first.
Ah, nice. I
Yeah.
mean, at that young age, you're already talking about cash flow, right? I'm quite sure you didn't study about cash flow accounting, about business in school, did you?
I'm a business. I have business diploma, but no, I
Yeah,
hated my accounts.
yeah. So it's actually hands on, right? Then you realize, oh,
Yes,
I got to learn this,
yes.
right?
So it was very, very hands on. I'm not afraid to share that that major project. We nearly went bankrupt.
Ah,
We
okay.
nearly went bankrupt. Okay, but me and my partner, we say we had to do what we have to do. So we seek out support from certain level, and we managed to push for a 90% payment in the end.
Ah,
Because
okay.
without that payment, we literally would have gone kaput.
Mm.
Yeah.
Some
So it's a
lessons,
yeah.
some lessons I learned from your story is, it's actually, I mean, being a boss, you have to make tough decisions,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
As with your two staff, the girls. And then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's actually, if you are a nice boss, if they appreciate you and you be upfront with them, they actually don't mind struggling or joining the strife with you,
Correct,
right?
correct.
Right.
Yeah,
and
correct.
and then
But we already told ourselves like we say if they choose to leave, we respect their choice because
correct,
at the end of the day we cannot expect staff to work for free.
correct,
But I guess because we have always been very prompt, very upfront with them, and they could see us trying to do what we can. So I
yeah,
guess we're very, very thankful for that. Yeah.
yeah. And at the end of it, you guys gave them a deserved bonus and a trip
Mm,
to Bangkok and stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, you
Correct.
guys kept your word, so that's a lesson to learn.
And to me, it's not just that. I think even with my partners, the last couple of years there was some project that payment was also slow and all that kind of thing. I still remember there was one particular project, small amount of money. Client for some reason tried to play punk, didn't want to pay. All right, and the client was not local. The client was overseas, and I was very thankful. One of my carpenter, my regular carpenters and all that, and we've always been prompt. So I told him, I said, hey boss, so sorry, like, I'm still chasing. I know it's 60 days, blah blah blah, right? And he just told me, he said, Annie, I'm not afraid you will run. Pay me when you get the money.
Nice,
So
nice.
I believe is the what do you call, I won't say value. I believe it's the way I treated them, the way I handled them, then, okay, that the trust has been built. Because I'm the kind that believe even you give me 30 days credit, right? If my client pay me already, it's not even 30 days. I will release payment.
Mm,
All right, but I have friends who are in the same industry say, hey, why you so silly? Wait lah, 30 days lah. In that 15 days, you could do some other things. I said, what's there for me to do? I still
yeah,
have to pay.
yeah.
All right. I said, I'd rather release. So I think it's because of my style and this belief. At the end of the day, when I needed help, all right, they are not they do not hesitate to help me. I think that's
Okay,
important. I think
okay.
that helped me during COVID.
What goes around comes around, good or bad, right?
Yeah, correct.
So this is one of the things that the audience, in fact, when I heard it first as well, I was very intrigued about the record that you're holding,
Why are you
right?
so intrigued?
Yeah. So I mean, for me, it was mind blown, right? So can you maybe share with us about this record that you're holding?
Okay, first thing is I'm very, very thankful. I think I thank my lucky stars that we got the contract because the Red Box event was very new at that point in time, and we managed to score this contract with SDU some 10 over years ago. And our
SDU would
response,
mean
social development unit,
okay.
the one that brings singles together.
I
Okay,
see. Okay.
there's a separate acronym which I will not say. All
Okay.
right, so the contract is a 2 year contract that requires us to pull off 1,000 singles dating event for singles. Singles
Okay.
will mean of course like the graduate singles and so on and so forth. So when we knew about this contract, we decided to pitch for it. We were just really like saying, yeah, since the business is new, we are pitching for a job, GBs. Let's just try. I mean, no harm, right? So I would say that we thank our lucky star. I still remember up to now there were 17 contender. All right, and down to I can't remember how many. And finally, the client actually wanted us to partner with another company because they felt that it would be stronger. We were opened, but the other company was not quite keen to work with another partner. So I mean, long and short of it, so in the end, we were very thankful that we got the job. So it's two
Ah.
years, and so as you can do the math, right? The requirement is 42 events a month.
Oh.
Okay, and there's certain permutation we need to fulfill. Like you must have X number of event that is for how many people. You must have Y number of event for X number of people, and the duration. So there's so many permutation, all right, that we have to be mindful of. Which means I need to fulfill all permutation. If I miss this one, they have the right to not pay me this, and so on and so
Ah.
forth.
Wow.
Okay,
Okay.
so that was the reason why earlier on I shared about some payment issue, right? Because some numbers didn't cut measure up and all that. So that's why it was all this stress. So it
Okay. Okay.
became we literally live, breathe, eat dating events for
Okay.
2 years.
Wow. Wow.
But it was
This is
fun.
a, yeah. This was under Redbox events as well.
Yes, it was.
Okay. I think you guys are still holding the record.
I would think so. I don't think. I think after us, I don't think anyone. I don't think there was any contract that was still requiring for 1,000 events. I'm not sure. because
Okay.
I do know that I think some KPI went up, but we're not sure whether did they award the people.
Mm.
So yeah, up to now. So yes, so
Okay.
I think
Okay.
something I can still brag lah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you have the bragging rights. You have done it. You have lived, breathe, eat, whatever. This record, so it's all yours to keep.
Yes.
Maybe the next time I meet you, I'll give you a plaque, right?
That would be nice.
Yeah, that'll be nice for you to keep, right?
Yes.
So this COVID, it's been quite dreadful to the mice industry, right?
Yeah, very much. So a lot of us, we basically were just saying that the industry just killed, I mean, COVID just killed the entire industry. At least in
Yeah.
2020 lah. At the start of
Uh,
2020, yeah.
so is it too silly to ask you how you were affected?
Okay, nothing to do with bragging or anything, but I think, firstly, I was really doing not that many events, to be very honest. I was doing more events for my very, very regular clients. All right, so I think that kind of helps because I was actually also going into the space of training, training in events, training some other leadership programs and all that. So I think that helps when COVID hit and the events industry kind of died, right? So I think the training kind of sustained me, and then only around end of 2020, then some clients came back and said, hey, I begin to do virtual events and all that. So then that helps. So I would say that I'm very thankful, and that my pivoting to doing events training kind of helped sustain me and all that.
Mm, okay.
So not so
Do
bad.
you do you think the events industry will be the same pre-COVID kind of thingy soon?
Okay, I think to be very honest, right, I don't think we will be able to be really back to the good old days of pre-COVID. Okay, I think in our hearts, all of us want it to be that way. Okay, but I think as of now, uh, as long as events industry, MICE industry is allowed to operate, I think that's the very, very first step. Now there are still a lot of restrictions. For example, we can only do business events, right? We cannot do social events. We're going to do business events, and business events would then mean that like dining become a supporting activity. So things such as gala dinner, networking dinner, live entertainment, these are all not allowed at this point. Okay,
Mm,
so it can be a challenge because sometimes you do like a conference event, you want to have all the little networking event, right? So people come, people pay for it. But all um, these are now on wish list. Okay,
yeah.
so that's why we know that 2022 we probably still cannot be as vibrant. Hopefully 2023 and beyond we can start to have a lot more. We know that the government has been doing some large scale event test round to see how it works. Okay, so until and unless that the report comes out and verify that it is possible, we rather just go with the flow. I mean, we have
Mm,
clients that tell us, why like this? Then no fun. That means no fun. That no fun. We say, you tell us there's nothing we can do. Why? Because when I go to the hotel to want to plan an event there, we have to submit an application to STB.
yeah, yeah.
STB must approve. I can put down all my lion dance and gombang and whatever, right? Lion dance. STB is not going to put a stand mark. I can't run my events.
Correct.
All right. So I say now is it's not we who don't want to. It is there are certain regulation that we have to adhere to ensure that we do not create any super spreader and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, we are hopeful, but we also need to be patient for it to really reach that level again. And we have
Well,
to because why? Singapore needs the event.
correct. It's the backbone,
Yeah.
I think, right? Events and
Correct.
tourism and stuff is the backbone of
Correct.
Singapore. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. And that's why schools and institutions are still teaching
Mm-hmm.
events courses and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the backbone, right?
Yep.
So, well, definitely, you are an obvious expert when it comes to events planning, right? So, you have the 6A framework. Those who are here on the live stream would love to know what the 6A framework is about and how they can use it to probably plan their own events, whatever events that they
Mm-hmm.
have, right? So,
Can I charge them for telling you?
uh, charge them alike. A like and a
Just say one
share.
like.
A like and a share.
No
So
problem. I mean, I still remember when we first started our business and I was training the staff, right? I could still remember some of my project managers saying, "Hey, why do you teach them everything?"
mm, mm,
Okay, so I said, why not to teach?
yeah,
They say,
yeah,
hey, you teach them everything, then they run, then what's going to happen to us and all that. So what I tell them is this. I say it's very simple. Firstly, they represent us. If they go out there and they make a mess of the event, we are in trouble, not
yeah,
just them. I say, and if we are the bosses and we are the project lead, we are answerable to the client. All right. So I said, so when we teach them, it's not we cannot go in with the mindset that I'm so fearful. I teach you, I will lose my kung fu. The kung fu
correct,
master teach his kung fu still with him, right?
correct,
So I say, well, you have to still remember that they still represent red box events. Yeah, I
correct,
cannot say, oh, I don't care. You go and learn yourself. I just give you half a kung fu. I say that
correct,
when you go there, you messed up. Who is answerable? I am answerable. You are answerable. The management is answerable.
correct, correct.
So I don't believe it. So I believe I teach you, I'll teach you everything. But I also tell my management, I say, but why am I so willing to teach and I'm not fearful that they were like take
Sabo.
and run or sabo, right? I say it's because we are all different, right? I can teach you now, Harry, the 6 A's. How are you gonna execute the 6A and how I'm gonna execute the 6A, you can never ever copy.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? The way how I deal with my client and the way how you're going to deal with your client, you can have this framework sui to give you. How you do it and how I do it will never be the same. Even you're going to shadow me for the next 1 month, you can say, okay, okay, this is how Annie talks. This is how Annie will talk to the client. You think you can copy 100%? The answer is no.
no, yeah, you're right.
So I say I can teach you all the framework, but I'm not afraid that you're going to take and run and copy everything because there's no way you can copy my stuff.
Correct, correct. So Danny Chin has given you a like. He's made a payment already,
Thank
and
you,
he's
Danny,
yeah, and he's waiting for the
for the
meat.
goods. For the
Yeah.
goods, is it?
So maybe you can start. Tell us what prompted you to create a system and what this system is all about.
Okay, I think what really prompted me to create the system was after like 20 years in the industry, I realized that there is a certain flow. Whenever client come to us and say, hey, Andy, can you come up with a proposal for us? No, there are the very first few steps that we definitely have to do. I'm not talking about events planning step. Event planning step, you plan, you execute, you coordinate, then you close off the show, right? That's like a no-brainer. Everybody knows, right?
The
So then I
operations, the
realized, yeah,
operations.
the operation part. Then I realized that, but there is something before that. Before even the operation start. That means when I'm now only at the planning stage, whereby I've got to design an event for the client. All right, there are these 6 A's that I personally feel that is very relevant, and I feel that it's very easy to understand, even for people who are first time running an event. Okay, may I guess what's the first A?
Uh,
Annie is
Danny,
not in there.
Danny, Hannah. Anybody wants to make a guess?
While they put the answer, let me guess. Maybe Harry, let me ask you. If somebody come to you and engage you to go and give a talk, okay, what are the likelihood? What are some of the questions you're going to ask this person who invited you?
Well, the first thing I would ask is about the audience, the clients, the persona of the clients there, people who are attending,
Why?
so that I can structure my talk to interest them and to be uh, so that they don't fall asleep. If I talk A and the client is rather the audience is not B type, so if the client is B type, I structure my talk to be a B, so they will be interested and engaged. So yeah,
Exactly.
ah,
So when when we start designing an event for a client, the very first thing we always look out for is the audience. What's the audience profile? Same thing, right? You say when somebody invite you to go and give a talk, you will straight ask them who is listening. Is it the aunties? All right, let's say you go talk about digital marketing and they say, oh, these are all 17-year-old auntie uncle. Are you going to pour out all the jargons for them? They won't understand, right?
mm,
If let's say now the people who's going to listen to you are like the millenniums, early, the late early teens and all that, and you start giving them all the basic words, they probably look at you and say like, I think I know better than you. Same,
mm,
right? So you need to understand your entire audience profile. Once you're able to understand your audience profile, everything else will flow smoother. Okay, but of course,
Mm.
I got cases, people ask me, say, yeah, but Annie, if you're organizing, let's say, IT show, there's so many people. I say, yes, same thing. You're organizing IT show, you want practically anybody and everybody to come and spend money, right? But at the end of the day, like you say, you still need to have a rough idea of how many sets of persona are there. There'll be some who comes in and say that, oh, I'm only here browsing. But there'll be some who purposely wait for IT fair and come in and buy bundle deal. So you still
Mm.
need to make sure that out of your whole target audience of let's say 18 to 80, we talk about this kind of public exhibition, you probably will still want the segment, all right?
Mm.
Because there are some people who only want to buy cheap deals. There are some
Mm.
people who come in and compare price. So you still need to know. Once you have that, then the rest of the A's will flow smoother.
Ah, okay. So there is another 5A that we are talking about that will strengthen the audience, right?
Correct. No, no,
Ah,
strengthen the whole event, not the audience. Strengthen the whole
okay.
event.
Let's
Okay,
strengthen the
so
whole
like I say,
event.
right. So the next A, having said that, so once you know the profile, the persona, the needs, the pain point, like what Danny said, once the next thing you would want to be looking at, you know the person's what are they looking out for? You know their pain points, you know their needs, their I miss PC show and stuff like that. All right. So when you know all this, now you are the one going to structure this whole exhibition. You are likely to then say, okay, we will have people who wants to buy cheap deals. I must make sure I bring in exhibitors that's going to clear stocks, right? Then you may
That's
say,
right.
oh, there will people want to learn about certain things. Okay, then maybe I'll have a stage program that teach them about maybe how to extend the Wi-Fi in their room, how to buy this, how to buy that. And all this means program.
Mm-hmm.
So in program, why is it P, right? Not why P and not why is it A and not P, right? What we call is activities.
Ah,
So
okay.
once you understand the whole profile of your audience, that's where you can create all the necessary activities for your audience. So activities here will include like okay, you have your exhibitors, you may have your stage program, you may have your workshop, you may even have your corner F&B for them to eat, drink something, then they go back and shop again. So that's why it's activity. So once you understand the profile, you will have your activities,
Mm.
right? So the activity is the one that will, the second A that will help you strengthen your whole event further.
Okay. This is in
Yeah,
collaboration with the organizer of the event, right?
correct. So let's say okay, for example, let's say I want to do a IT show, right? So let's say you come to me and say, Annie, we'll do this. I say, okay, so Mr. Hari, what is the target audience? So you will
Mm.
tell me, right? I need to understand that from you. You may tell
Mm.
me, I want everybody lah, now no business already. The more the merrier. I say, okay, no problem. But we still need to split, right? People who come in could be singles, people coming could be family, people coming could be just be hunter, bargain hunters. We still need to know. So once we understand that, we'll say, okay, so Mr. Hari, now this is a 4-day event. Let us see what kind of activities can we add in. Let's have
Mm.
200 booths. Let's have this. Let's have what do you call auction. Let's have
Mm.
all this activity will come in to make your whole 4-day as power packed as it possibly can. And this
Mm.
power pack activity must be something that your target audience, based on their profile, they're going to like it.
Mm. Okay. So audience activity. What's
Mm-hmm.
next?
What do you think is next? You have your audience,
Uh,
you got activity. So what's next? What's the next
the
A?
the show.
No lah. Why so fast the show? Let's see what's the next A. I also can't remember how. Hang on
Anticipation. Is it
Yes, so
create
clever.
create?
What's anticipation?
Is it advertising and stuff?
Yes. Okay, so I know people say, wow, advertising lah, why anticipation? Why I use anticipation is this. Anticipation basically equals to marketing. Okay, so when I market this show, what am I creating? I'm creating some sort of an anticipation for my audience, right? I'll be saying that, wow, there'll be up to 200 booths, there'll be bargains, there'll be this, there'll be that. And so I'm basically advertising, I'm basically marketing to tell them how fantastic this event is.
Yeah.
All right. But what is important when we talk about, and so we are creating an anticipation for your target audience.
Akan
Okay,
datang.
so akan datang, right? So but this is also the tricky part. All marketers like to blow until very power, right? Very gila, right? But I always tell them, you can blow until very big. Can you deliver or not?
Mm.
You cannot deliver. You make them their anticipation so high. You cannot deliver when they show up at the event. Your level is here. I said, do you know what have happened? You've just killed your entire image for your own self. All right. So this is where the chicken and egg is. How much is too much? How much is enough? And how much is too little?
Mm.
So I say, so things like give factual information. If you have 200 booths, you have 200 booths. No need to lie one, right? If you have this, you have that, give the factual information. I could still remember there was one event that I was helping a friend. I wasn't running it. I was helping a friend. They marketed the event in such a way that there's going to be 200,000, anticipating 200,000 visitors.
Visitors. Yeah.
4 day event, 4 days event at MBS. You can imagine a 4 day event MBS, 200,000. It was a ladies only event. No, not say ladies. It was a no lady exhibition or something to do with more targeted audience was more ladies, right? So you think about
Jewelry.
it. So something along the line. No, it's more like things that's more for ladies. It's like a mixture of things. So you say, okay, not too bad. A 4 day event, 200,000. Plus Saturday, Sunday, there's a church there. No, it's not impossible. The final count we found out was 20,000.
Oh.
So that's what we meant by anticipation. You make it under so big deal. In the end, it's 1/3, like, I don't know, 10%. Not just the anticipation, not just whatever you did, not just kill your brand with the participant or the visitor, it also kill your brand with the exhibitors. Exhibitor will be so upset. I invest, let's say, $3,000 for a booth, with the understanding that there's going to be 200,000 visitors. In the end, you got 20,000 visitors. My $3,000 investment has gone where? Okay, so that's what we meant. It is important to make it look exciting, make it look attractive, make it look wow, I want to go. Okay, but the point is, don't overcommit and then you under deliver. Right?
So how do you work with the organizer to sort of don't overcommit and gauge roughly? Is there a process behind that?
Okay, so usually factual information, like I say, right? Like for example, how many thousand, how many exhibition booth, what are some of the activities that's going to happen. If you're very sure there's going to be bundle deals and all that, right? Then all these are facts. Facts is okay to give, so no problem, right? So you can run away from it. Then that's where when we talk about the activities, right?
Yeah.
Look at the activities that you have. Is there any activities that's unique? If let's say now you're going to have somebody, okay, let's say Mr. Haridas is going to talk something about digital, and you will never get it unless you go and pay for his workshop, for example, right? And but he has very kindly come to share, right? Then market this person because he's real, right? He's going to show up anyway, right? So don't just market that say, oh, I'm going to have 100,000 of visitors. Don't just market that. Use whatever that's within the exhibition that you can to draw the people to the exhibition.
Okay, that's very interesting tip.
Right, like for example, if you know for sure there's going to be a lucky draw, spend $1,000 and you stand a chance to win a car. You can talk about that, right? Although some people say, hey, that's quite lame. But people who go to an IT show and all that, they may be looking for good bargains, so spending 1,000 maybe to them, original could be 3,000, now they spend 1,000, they're fine. They'll be happy to do it. And those are real information that you're not lying, right? You're going to give away a car ultimately. You're really giving away a car, right?
Yeah.
So don't, what we always say, don't market things that end up being countable. Like for example, oh, I'm going to attract 500,000. Well, the person stand there, take the clicker, click, 500 only. You can't get away, right?
Unless if the event has got a track record, then probably you can boost on past track records to say this average amount of people has come in for the past 5 years.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. So like for example, if you say that like this is the 10th year running, you say averagely we have always been attracting 100,000. So okay, averagely, right, 100,000. So some year maybe you only got 50,000, but some year 150, so you square off, right? So if this year only got 50, I'm still safe, right?
Correct.
So don't try and market with numbers because numbers are countable.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's anticipation. What's the fourth one?
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere. Okay.
Okay, so now you have your audience coming, you have your activities going on, you have tell people how fantastic this event is going to be so that they attract them to come. So when they step into your exhibition hall, what kind of atmosphere, the kind of the vibes that you're going to give them. So if you're going to tell me that this is a event with 200 exhibitors, there's going to be auction going on, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. So when you walk through the hall, if you walk into a silent hall, you'll be like, what are that one? So you'll be expecting to walk into a hall that's very vibrant, there's a lot of activities, there are a lot of like, you hear some bargain deals going on, right? That's what we meant by atmosphere. Okay, but of course, atmosphere, that's just the very tip of the atmosphere. Atmosphere will also mean such as the way you lay out your place. Because atmosphere basically means that how the whole place is set up. So you also will mean things like how you're going to lay out. Are you going to have enough doors? Are you going to end up having so many long queues and all that? Because it's also different because if the place is hot and stuffy, you also is going to kill your event, right? So how you lay out the space, how you structure, like where are all the bargain deals? Are you going to spread them all out? Where's the stage? Where's the food? It's also somewhat like an atmosphere. Okay, so for exhibition, it's not so much to talk about, but let's say now this is a gala dinner. You can imagine, right? I tell you, this is a glitzy gala dinner.
Yeah.
You come in, you see, what like that called glitzy, no bright lights, no glittering chandelier and all that kind of thing. The tablecloth is black color, white color. Then you're like, where is that glitz? That's what we meant by atmosphere. And the atmosphere is as many of the touch points you can cover. So like I say, right, if you're doing a gala dinner, glitz and glamour, you call it. When you arrive at the reception counter girl, what would you expect them to be dressed? At least nice black cocktail dresses, right? Okay. Nice makeup. The whole setting should give you the glitz and glamour feel. But imagine you walk there, you see, like that one. The girl wear t-shirt, wear those event crew t-shirt, you be like, so where's the glitzy and glamour feel? Okay, so that's what I meant by atmosphere. So certain events, the atmosphere is very, very crucial. Okay? Yeah. So that
who decides on that as a planner or the organizer? Who decides on the atmosphere?
Okay, it's still all interlinked. Okay, so you look at it, it's all interlinked, right? You use whatever you plan, whether it's anticipation, whether it's atmosphere, activity, everything still hinges on your first A.
Audience.
Okay, so you imagine that, okay, your first side is audience, right? You have your 18 to 80. Exhibition, you could have older people who's coming. So you said atmosphere, so you can have your activity, but your activity must also cater to all your audience, right? Your anticipation, if you want to reach to the whole spectrum of your audience, the 70-year-old people may not be looking at your Facebook and IG. They may still be looking at newspaper. Do you have newspaper ad or not? Right? So you cannot forget. So same thing, atmosphere, you also want to make sure that maybe that's why the way you lay out, there's proper walking path, it's not too narrow, okay, some areas are the quieter area and all that. Because why? Some of these people, when they come, they may not want to have all that loud noise and all that. So you still need to think of your audience. Yeah, so when you create the atmosphere, you still got to think about them.
It all boils down to the type of audience you're catering the event to.
Yeah, the very first one. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So we've done
next one.
Atmosphere, and what's the fifth one?
The fifth one is appetite.
Food.
Appetite. Okay, most events, okay, I cannot say all. I would say 90 to 95% of events will have some sort of F&B. Okay, so of course, an exhibition event, the F&B could just be very simple, a deli at the corner for people who really need to eat, they could just buy all that, right? But there will still be that food component in there. Okay, if let's say now you're doing something different, you're doing a gala dinner, then your F&B, your appetite component could be very, very important. Right, you're going to decide whether it's going to be a 4-course meal, 5-course meal, buffet, Chinese meal, and all that, right? So that will become a bit more crucial. So that's appetite, and appetite can also be based on, again, the overall theme of the event. Let me share this F&B thing with you, right? One of my very first event that I attended, I could still remember. I can't remember it's which anniversary, but it's the anniversary for Raffles Institution, RI. Okay, so RI corporate color is black, green, and white. Okay, so I can still remember. That's like 20 over years ago. So it's simple, but up till now, I still remember. So what they did was, when we had our event, when we attended the gala dinner and all that, right? Cocktail, they only serve Coca-Cola, Fanta Green, and Sprite, which is the 3 color of their logo. Okay, so that means this is because this is the anniversary for them, right? So what do you play out with? You play out their branding one, right? Okay, so that's their 3 color. So when we had our meal, it was a Western meal, soup, we were served asparagus and barley soup. Then you know the Chinese bak kwa, the black and
Yeah,
white,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
of course, instead of black and white, it was green and cream or a
Okay,
white, and they actually had an olive. Okay, so again, it is their color.
okay.
And then I think main course, no lah, main course, I can't remember, it's just chicken, fish, or whatever. Then again, the dessert was everybody had a slice of cake. The cake again had that three colors. So it's
Okay.
simple, right? It's simple, but it is a constant reminder that this is an RI event.
Impactful.
It's impactful. I mean, this is like how many years ago? 20 over years, 20, 20 over years ago. And you still remember. So sometimes less is more. You don't have to make until wow, like like a dragon or phoenix, and then you cannot deliver. It's as simple as that. So
Mm.
that's appetite. Then of course appetite also come into play, understanding about diet restrictions and so on and so forth, like whether the person is vegetarian and all that. And when I train my students, I always tell them when it comes to food, please do not play a fool. See, if the color printout is a bit off, never mind, the eye won't be pain one. But if it's food, the person tell you I cannot eat this, don't say it's okay lah, this a bit can lah. No because the thing goes in, the person collapse there on you, your entire image is gone. So if the
Mm.
person say cannot eat, please don't say ching chai eat. Just say, oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am, and we're not informed of your dietary arrangement. Please tell us what you can eat. So one trick I always tell my students, right? Don't ask them what you cannot eat. Just make it simple. Ask, what can you eat? I still remember there was one incident. A speaker came, then the wife only flew. The wife came, but he didn't tell us. So during lunch, then he said, "Oh, my wife is here." Then we said, "Okay, well, then we thought just join in, right? With buffet, ma." Then he said, "Oh, my wife is a strict vegetarian." So we were asking what can eat, what can eat. So in the end, the wife just say, "No, I know I'm very last minute, so can you just fry me a plate of bee hoon?" Just fry. She told us to fry her a plate of bee hoon, just with carrot and cabbage.
Mm.
No garlic, no egg.
Mm.
I still remember the event was in Suntec City. When we told
Mm.
the kitchen, the chef was like, put egg lah, put egg. We said no. Okay. She said just this three, just give her. Then they're
Mm.
like, but it sounds very sad. We say we don't deny it sounds very sad. But if it makes her happy and if her stomach is okay for that, just give her. I think
Uh,
you all just plate nicely lah. Maybe the carrot cut nicer. So when it comes to food, we always say don't ask what they cannot eat because sometimes there's too many things they cannot eat. Just straightforward, especially those very strict one. Just straightforward. What can you eat? What can we
mm.
get for you? They
Mm.
say, oh, just give me a peanut butter sandwich. Give.
Mm.
Don't have to feel bad at the point that wow, like so sad, right?
Mm.
They are happy.
Mm.
So that's appetite. So appetite we also have to be mindful lah.
Yeah. So I mean, most of the time, when you go for an event, especially weddings and with big F&B, right?
Mm.
You always tend to. I mean, people always tend to judge the event by the food that they serve. Is that true? I mean, from your point,
Okay,
have you
honestly,
heard? Yeah,
there are people who will come for event because of the food.
yeah.
There will be, yeah, definitely one, right? So we are just aware, right? So we just need to like work around it. And food is always one thing that is very hard for events company to try to be sustainable. Why do I mean that? If I've got 100 people coming, okay, usually we know caterer will give us about 10% extra. So I can
Mm,
order maybe 90 portions. But what if in the end I have only 80 who came? I still would have lost and wasted 15, 20 packs of food.
mm,
So I always tell my learner, now the whole world is going about talking about sustainability and all that, right? But we in the events industry, we know it's tough. Not that we
mm,
don't want to. So if you're
mm,
under cater, then how? So embarrassed, right? Like people, no more already. Then
mm,
how?
mm,
So in this kind of cases, suddenly you have no choice but to just go on what we call the norm. If you have 1,000 people, you can order maybe about 800 because you get 10% more, right? So these are the things that we learn along the way, and we will always see wastage.
mm,
Okay, if somebody comes to you and say that I can give you 100% no wastage, I won't say you don't trust the person. I will say that show me.
Mm.
I'll
Okay.
ask the person, show me how you going to do this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are you saying? I mean, based on this, I'm just curious. Are you saying people, organizers, or people who want to organize events, they also ask planners like you how to conserve, how
Yeah,
to?
yeah, because now there's all this SDG goal, right? The sustainability development goals, right? So some company they will want to like say, oh, I want to make my event more green. I want to have this, I want to have that, and all that. We say, yeah, sure, we can do for you. There are like things such as we call it green meetings. Green meetings means your entire event you try to ensure as much sustainability as you can. Like for example, we don't give you bottled drink. All the drinks are dispensable at the back. We don't give you the pencil, the paper, everything's at the back. You take based on needs basis. Okay, write down even to if the aircon, if the room takes only an hour to cool down, and the event's at 9 o'clock, the hotel will only on the aircon at 8 o'clock. Okay, so they conserve energy in the kind of sense. And even the menu, they will offer you, they call it green menu. Okay, the green menu doesn't mean it's vegetarian. Okay, green menu basically means that the ingredients that you use, the vegetable, the chicken, the fish, come from a source that is as near as possible to Singapore. So instead of
Oh,
getting from, let's say, Malaysia, you get it from Choa Chu Kang. So
oh,
the carbon footprint is lesser. So yes, there are some people, even events company, even client, we try our very best, but sometimes it's just still not possible. And plus the
mm,
fact that HSA, our health and safety, right? When the food leaves the kitchen within 4 hours, it must be consumed. Otherwise, it must be thrown.
mm,
Then 20 years ago, when we're running events, right? Event ends as the buffet event. The hotel will come to me and say, "Hey, Annie, your crew what time come?" I say, "Oh, maybe by 11." Okay, I will put aside later. You ask them eat lah, don't waste food. I say, "Sure." Now cannot. All right,
mm,
everything is bin, everything is thrown. So it's good
mm,
that actually some hotels, some venue is working with people like food bank and all that, right? To ask them to come and collect, like food bank,
mm,
that item that is can still be kept to eat one, they'll ask them to come collect. So we minimize. We what we can do is we can only minimize as much as we can.
mm.
Same thing,
Okay.
what you do IT show, you look at the amount of flyer that's thrown,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Correct.
can you not print? You cannot print, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
will encourage lah, like okay, let's say the client say let's print 100,000 pieces. We will say okay, why don't you print 50 first? But some of them will tell you print 100,000 is this amount, print 50 is more. If I reprint, I gotta pay more. So at the end of the day, client will give you this kind of comment. So how?
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So yeah. So very much that.
that does the appetite part. And
Yeah.
what
Last
is
one,
the last one?
amenities, right? Amenities, right? So in this case, amenities basically refers to what is the ultimate takeaway that you are creating so that the audience will remember your event and so on and so forth. What happened? Oops, have I lost you? Have you lost me?
No, I've not lost you. Don't worry. I'm just
You
giving you
lost
the
me.
limelight.
Oh, please. Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, so the last one is amenities. Amenities basically means that what is the ultimate takeaway for your customer? You're very fun, right? You're having fun, right? What's the ultimate takeaway you have for your customer?
Yeah.
Heard me?
Yes.
Okay, so example, right? Amenities could refer to, let's say, a tumbler. You came for an event, this is your door gift, you bring back. All right. So if I'm always using this tumbler, I will always remember this event. But some people will give other things such as like maybe a pen. So you finish writing, you throw, forget, gone. So we as event organizer, this amenities part we always try to strive to do is the intangible amenities and intangible takeaway. So if the activities, the atmosphere, all these things are power packed enough, then there's a higher chance that they will remember better. I'll give you one example: the reference for the RI one. Yeah, I don't even remember what was the door give, but the fact that I remembered the food itself. I mean, the food no big deal, right? Fanta, Coke, and drink. What? It's just drink. Cake is just a slice of cake. I don't know what cake, but I still remember the color. Right? And the
Mm,
soup, I also can't remember how it tastes like. Okay, but the fact that it was the color. Okay, so that's what we meant. That's the amendment. That's that takeaway. So the more impactful the takeaway, the likelihood the person will remember.
mm,
All right. So some people like to buy expensive gifts. But the expensive gift put there, gone more. Right? The flat, oh, I don't use it anymore, I forget about it. Okay, so that's what we are always looking at. Like, what is that? What is that takeaway? So if the takeaway is, if the intangible takeaway is very strong, very powerful, positive ones, then you know that likelihood when the person hear about this event again, they're like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Last year we had this, so let's go. Yeah. So it's the final
Is
takeaway.
there any tips on selecting a great amenity for an event?
Okay, all this actually, to be honest, boils down to what is the ultimate objective of your event. Okay, so
Mm,
for example, if your event, if let's say we say IT show, is to help your exhibitors, clear off stock, to get them to get good bundle deals and so on and so forth, right? So amenities basically refers to your audience. So if your audience goes there with the kind of mindset, I must have good deals, I want to have great options of bundles, I want to hopefully, win this, win that, blah, 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 right? So at the end of the day, if they get all this, okay, that means you know that the at least the amenities is there. So it relates back to your objective. What is the objective of your IT show?
mm, okay.
So then example, right? If you talk about gala dinner, what's the objective of gala dinner? Raise funds, create awareness for the charity. Okay. So if your activities, your programs, your entire thing comes together and make your audience sit there and say, wow, I want
Mm,
to help these people. You have achieved the objective.
mm. So
So that takeaway will be there.
is that wow creation of wow from the audience the job of the event planner?
Yeah, of course. Because it has to be intentional, ma. So okay, let's say now we talk about this charity dinner is to create awareness for, let's say, cancer patient. Okay, so we also got to remember, there's so many charity out there. So what is it that this group of people who's sitting there, who's watching the show, supporting the show, half of them could already be supporter, half of them could be boss buy tickets, say, go, go, go. They could have never heard about you before, right? So then you as an organizer, you could say, okay, so now my audience is a mixture. My activities must let them know what is this cancer foundation all about, right? My food can also be played around it. I serve food that's less processed and so on and so forth. My anticipation, what am I going to anticipate? I may be saying that, oh, there's be some special performance, and the special performance could be by somebody who's a cancer survivor.
Mm,
Okay, and then of course your appetite and all that. Then like lastly, the amenities. The takeaway you want of this group of people would be they remember your charity. The
mm,
next time somebody comes around asking them to support a charity, they will remember it's you. Or the
mm,
next time you come to them and say, can you please donate? They will just willingly donate. So the
mm,
whole thing must flow in such a way that the impact is there.
mm,
Yeah. So it is intentional. No, it doesn't just happen like that. It has to be created. It has to be created so that it's intentional that it will happen.
mm.
Yeah.
So do you find as an event planner to put across 6 A's to the event organizer a challenge, or when you do it in a 6A manner, it becomes easier for the organizer to understand?
Okay, actually, when we talk to the client, right, we don't go and say, okay, boss, come on, okay, this is first A, this is second A, this is third A, right? I mean, okay, at least I don't do it. Okay, so but in my head, I would already know that, okay, Annie, you're gonna go through this 6A. First thing, seriously understand the whole profile of the audience.
Mm,
Dig further, and all that kind of thing. But of course, before you start digging that, the very ultimate one is what's the purpose of this event? You'll be surprised some people will come thinking now during COVID, not so lucky lah. During pre-COVID or the slightly like 10 years ago, their client will come to you and say, hey, I over budget marketing. I got
mm,
50,000. Can you just think of an event for me? Have.
mm,
Now sell them lesser. Okay? So if
mm,
this is the case, you cannot just take the 50,000 and throw an event, right? You still got to ask your client, okay, this 50,000, what you want to achieve?
mm,
So they say, yeah, actually the first thing is must spend. Then we say, okay, you want to spend, we hear you. Okay, but what would you want to, what's the, maybe what is some product that you have not showcased? Tell us. They may say, oh, yeah, 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 this mouse, we have never showcased before. Let's do something about it. It's okay. So there's still that minimal objective, right? Then we will say, okay, so mouse, target audience who? This one is quite cheap. We want to target the younger generation. Okay, so young generation. Then everything goes with you. Young generation, what are you going to do so that the young generation, when they come to your roadshow, they're going to enjoy. Then all the A's will then start putting in pam, 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 and then you deliver. So we don't go and tell them like, oh, A lah, first A, second A. They will look at you like, what are you talking? But we ourselves knows. It's like inbuilt in us, or at least inbuilt in me. After so many years.
But this, I mean, there are a lot of types of events, right? So your 6A framework works for every type of events.
Yeah. The only thing I want to say that it works for all events. The only thing is that please take note, they don't share equal weightage. Okay, they don't share equal weightage. Like just now I was saying, you do an exhibition, your appetite component is probably not as crucial as compared to you're doing a gala dinner or you're doing a food and wine festival. That is very crucial, your choice of exhibitor to talk about the food, all this is very important. Okay. Similarly, although audience is the very largest audience, is the most important one, right? If let's say now this is doing an event, it's a town hall event for your company. You already know what everybody's in your staff, what. So you may not need to go in so in depth onto the profile of your audience because you know they're all your staff, right? But then you may want to do the other rest of the thing a bit more. Okay, like give them activity that's not too boring, not say have the CEO talk non-stop, think of something else that can engage them so that the message gets across. Right? So the 6A, the weightage are all not the same one. Some weightage is heavier on certain things and all that kind of thing.
Based on events, right? And etc. Yeah.
Correct, no?
So your 6A, just to summarize, is audience, activity, anticipation, atmosphere, appetite, my favorite, and amenities.
Yep.
Okay. It sounds like, actually, I mean, to put this into perspective, I mean, not everybody is an event organizer. When you have a planner like this and you go in with such a framework, it makes the organizers' work so much easier.
Correct.
It makes it easier for them to decide, right? And
correct. So of course, for those who have came for my classes and all that, right, I will tell them, so it's okay. I mean, if you are not an event planner like myself, right, it's okay for you to write down, okay, first thing I must at least understand my audience. So if let's say now you're a secretary, you're going to organize things such as the AGMs and all that, which is not uncommon, right? So you ask yourself, okay, who's coming for my AGM, right? Who are the people coming? So so it's okay, right? I'm just saying, okay, I'm not saying that events organizer cannot write down, okay, box one is A, this A is second. Can. All right, it's just that I'm doing it for so long.
Somebody who's 20 years of experience, no need to write down now.
Yeah, we probably won't write down, but actually sometimes along the way, if the event is huge, we may still craft it down. I mean, we are not super. No? We will still may miss out certain things, so we may still craft down. But what I mean is that at the start of it, when you are sitting in front of the client, we will know that these are the few things we need to ask. So if let's say now you're a secretary and you need to organize this, okay, bring out your paper, right? Okay, who my boss wants to do? Okay, this. Okay, who's coming for AGM? Okay, then AGM what must we do? Must have what signing lah, must audit lah, so it's the same thing lah. Everything's the same. After that, then after activity, is anticipation. Of course, anticipation in this case very little. Just send out notice of AGM. Alright, please block this date. Maybe 2 times. First is to lock the date for AGM. Next is to tell the final location where is AGM. 2, 3 marketing. That's all, right? Then you talk about atmosphere. What kind of setting? You probably want something that is comfortable. The proper mic system is there. They can hear the panel when they're talking. Right? How's the sitting arrangement for everybody else? Then food. You definitely got to serve them right after these people come and sit down and listen to you for an hour for AGM. You better give them some nice food. And then take away in this case, maybe just it's just AGM, maybe just some simple token of appreciation for being part of the team, for being in the association for the last 1 year. Yeah. Okay. So anything at all. Sometimes I joke with my friends, even a birthday party. Wedding anniversary, you want to plan? Okay, I teach you. Who are you going to invite to celebrate your wedding anniversary?
Okay? You know how I decide how important or how great a framework or a blueprint is? I look at how it can be used across the board, for big to small. And it's quite obvious that what you have created in your framework, the 6A framework, can be used in various levels,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that is actually
Correct.
quite awesome.
Yes.
Awesome,
That's another
right?
A.
Yeah, that's another A. I'm glad you caught that.
My name also start with A. What?
The 6 A's of Annie.
So some people say, hey, you pick A, is it because your name is Annie? I said, no, not really. It's just fell into like
A
A's name. Yeah.
coincidence.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Guys,
Yes. Yes.
whoever is watching from wherever, if you have any questions, maybe you can check out on your side of your, if there's any
Let me
questions,
see.
we can try to answer them.
My friends are Friday night party lah.
Okay. And Danny's got this question. He's put there this one, budget. So
What
budget
about
is a
budget?
big, what's a big, it's a big thing, right? Budget. What about
Yes.
budget, Danny?
Don't know he's still there. What about budget? I don't know. Must ask him what about budget he wants to know.
Yeah, so I guess what he's trying to perhaps ask is uh, how much of an event is dependent on the budget. That's my interpretation.
Hi Rihanna.
Hi, Rihanna.
How say again what is it? Oh, okay. Budget, right? Budget determine what can be done. Really? I'll tell you, right? 10,000 can do an event. 100,000 also can do an event. 1,000 also can do an event. Depending on
Yeah.
what you need. All right. So that's why sometimes client will come to you and say, come to us and say, oh, I want to do this. Then we ask, then they will say, but I got no budget. Or our budget is not set yet. So we always will tell them, right? $1,000 I also can run a dinner for you. 100,000 also can run a dinner. 1 million also can run the dinner. So you must give me a guideline. Okay, so we always will tell them. And to be honest, most clients to a certain extent would know their budget. I will tell you 99% of the client would know their budget. I honestly don't quite believe when the person tell you say, actually there's no budget. I don't quite believe, especially when you're coming from an organization, right? I mean, unless you say you're one-man show, even your one-man show, you will know how much you want to invest in, let's say, this celebration. Even if you say you're a bottomless pit, you still want to know, right? You don't want after your staff come to you and slap you with a $1 million bill, right? You still want to know. And I always tell my learners and all that, I say, if this is not the first event, especially when it's not inaugural, they confirm will know. If they say, we don't know what's the budget for this year, don't know, then ask them, how much was spent last year? How much was spent the previous year? Just ask 2-3 years ago lah. Then they may say, yeah, but this year different now with COVID, no problem. Let's say 2 years ago they spent $500,000. Now with COVID, you say, okay, you just give a discount yourself slash half, 250,000. Then based on what they're asking you to deliver, do you think 250,000 is something that can be workable or it's not workable? Right? I say even if it's first time inaugural, the marketing person cannot tell you that boss never give budget. You believe? No, I don't believe that. All right. So I'm very sure boss will have give an estimate. Okay, or boss may say, you go and roughly gauge now. You ask around your friends who have done such event, roughly how much. So the person who comes to you will definitely have some numbers in their head. It's just that see, client being client, they don't want to tell you because why? They scared. They tell you 100,000. You mark down every single cent.
Yeah.
So sometimes they will cut back 50,000 only. So okay, you tell me 50,000 can, I'll plan something that's 50,000. Then you get upset. Why just like that only? 50,000.
Yeah.
But the trick is for all event planner is the challenge. I won't say trick. The challenge is how do you make a event that you only want to spend 50,000 looks like 100,000.
Okay.
So the client tell you my budget is 100,000. Of course you don't spend all, right? You want to make money, right? So how are you going to make the event that is meant to be 100,000 looks like 100,000, but maybe you only spend 50,000. You can do that. You do that. You make 50,000. All right.
Okay. So that's your insider secret.
Yes, that one cannot share.
I say put makeup on, right?
Huh?
How do you put a 50,000 uh, event to look like 100,000? It's like how you put a makeup on or a plain girl or a plain person to make them look so beautiful.
Yes and no lah. There are different ways to do that, right? Because you see, at the end of the day, you want to. It's the overall experience that the guest wants, right? The guests enjoy themselves and all that, right? And then when they give feedback to the customer will say, "Oh wow, okay, so this event company did a good job. You know, our staff enjoyed it." That's what you want, right? At the end of the day, it is not just you go and brag that you are good. It
It's the
is the
memory and the
participant.
experience.
Yeah, it's a participant that tells you that, hey, wow, hey, this event company versus the last year, wow, hey, this was so much better. Then that's
Yeah,
where you had the opportunity to have that long-term arrangement with your client.
yeah. That's very important. Recurring, events, recurring clients, right? Very important.
Makeup expensive brand or cheap brand?
Uh, I
Depends
okay,
lah.
Danny, you have said something about spotlighting. I don't quite
No
get
lah,
it.
I think just now when I asked like how come I went missing? Why how come you went missing? I think
Ah,
she's trying to tell me that you use the spotlight.
okay. I
Yeah,
hope that's the one. So, okay, you've
it make a
done the
lot of
six
difference.
A's, right? So, anyone from the members who are listening, do you have any questions you want to ask Annie? Maybe you can put it down on the chat. I'm checking on the LinkedIn side as well.
Oh, okay.
Uh, okay, okay. Any questions? Danny used to do event AV.
So he knows
Hmm. So he
Event AV,
wishes that.
event AV, we also have a lot of fun one. Think he will know lah. They will know. I still remember we do event AV. There was one event, right? We do. It was only rehearsal, then we will say, oh, there's this camera. So camera go live, right? So you walk, you pan, So there were artists and performers, local artists, So then after we realized that there was a particular singer, every time the camera is pending, he will always try to get in front of the camera. So when get
Uh,
in front of the camera means that he appears live on the screen, right? So everybody can see him clearer lah because it's live screen, right? After a while, my what we call my show producer notices, get on my cam caller realize it. So you know what they did? Every time the camera is panning, right, then you see he walks, right? The moment he comes into frame, right, our vision mixer will mix to the other camera.
okay.
So so one thing I want to share, sometimes I tell my client, right, is this. I say, uh, this is very inside info. I say, actually, sometimes don't play with we events people
Ah,
because sometimes we can make you look very good. All right, especially production. We can make you look very very good,
yeah,
or we
yeah,
can
yeah.
just make sure that you never ever appear on screen. Because let's say we got three cameras, right? And then this camera is not focusing on, let's say, on Harvey. The other one is focusing on Annie, right? And then center is, let's say, focusing on Danny. But Danny is always wanting to cut into everybody. So
Mm.
now we'll know already. I'll say, wow, this person now, like, why like that? So every time
Spotlighting.
whenever then he comes into the frame, the other two camera will be on standby already. They'll just cut, so the screen goes to somebody else.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
always joke, we say, don't play with it. We got the power. Yes, we got the power.
That's right.
Indeed, we have the power, but it doesn't. Of course, we don't abuse the power lah. Sometimes you see running events, behind the show for like 3, 4, 5 hours. We need a bit of comic relief lah. Huh? We need a bit of
That's
comic
good.
relief.
So we have some questions that pre-event
Mm,
I took down. Just
yes.
wanted to maybe clarify with you as well.
Mm,
I've listed down three questions.
mm.
Number one, what makes a memorable event?
What makes a memorable event? Wow. Actually, whatever I've said. Okay, to me, I think the most memorable event from the both the client and the audience, right? I think the most memorable event would be an event that both the audience and the client remembers for as long as possible. I know it's a very big answer, right? But I can't exactly pin down how can you call it memorable. So if you were to ask me, for example, for myself, right? Let's say the RI event. It is simple, but it is still memorable. Okay, because of the fact that the effort that event organizer put in. But of course, I also have attended some event whereby it is the very content of the event that makes it very memorable. Okay, like you go there, you enjoy all the activities, you get to experience certain thing, and then that makes it memorable. So I can't really pin down to say that there's, whether there's one element that makes an event memorable.
Okay.
Mm.
So the next question is related to that. So as an event planner, how can you create a memorable event? Because
Mm.
I'm sure as a client, if I come to you, I will say this is my budget and I want this event to be memorable. So what would you do from where
Okay,
you are
so like,
sitting?
firstly, what I'll do, I literally will take them through the 6 A's. All right, I'll first ask them, okay, you want to do this event? Why you want to do this event?
Mm,
What is the outcome you want to achieve? Right? Are you trying to sell things? Are you trying to create awareness? Are you trying to do this? What is it that you want to create? Or what is it what you want to achieve? Okay, so if the person say, okay, this is what I want to achieve. So once we know what they want to achieve, then we'll ask them who are they targeting. So that's where I say we'll take them through the 6 A's. So to try to make sure, remember right at the start you were saying that so every A we add in, we add meat to it. So yes, so every A we add more memory to this entire event.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's really, I mean, that's a memorable answer. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, 6 A's, you put all that together. It's a recipe, right?
Yeah.
You put audience, activity, anticipation, atmosphere, appetite all together, and amenities together equals to a
Your
great,
memorable event. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's a great formula.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've answered this question. The last question is, what if a client has a limited budget? You have spoken to us about the budget before, right?
We work within the budget they have.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So there are like so there are many ways we work with the client. So the client, let's say now say that we only have this amount of money and all that. Then we'll sit down with the client again. What is the purpose of spending? Let's say they tell you, oh, I want to do a thank you dinner, but we only have like 10,000. So we already know that 10,000, how much can you make, right? So sometimes we'll sit the client down and ask the client, so what exactly do you need? Right? What do you want to achieve with having this dinner event that you only can spend this amount of money? So if they tell you, okay, this is the purpose and all that, then we say, okay, then that's where we will sit them down and say, okay, instead of having this kind of sit down dinner, why not we do something else? All right, that maybe is memorable. Maybe for example, you supposed to thank you lunch, thank you dinner. You say, oh, we're gonna bring them to a restaurant, but now also 5 people. Then if you want to do it in a meeting room, so we scared not enough budget, for example. So how can you make it more memorable? Come, we have
Mm.
live trial. How will you make it more memorable?
Ah, I cannot think from
You cannot.
event planners. Yeah, how? Do tell.
Okay, so you could consider something like that. So let's say if the group is not big, let's say maybe 20, 30 people only, right? So maybe 10, 20, maybe the amount of money, okay, if you bring to a restaurant, probably you can enough. But in restaurant, it's just like that, lor. Correct or not? But if you want to make it more memorable, would there be an opportunity what you do is go and cater and arrange for special bento and have it sent to the staff?
Mm.
That means let's assuming we tell them, okay, this today you have to pick a day and all that and tell them, or maybe you do it, maybe this is going to be a Saturday morning or whatever, making sure that everybody commit, right? And say the boss want to see you all have to do this, blah blah blah. Okay, it's going to be a thank you thing. All right, and then you arrange for special bento to be delivered to their home.
Mm.
And you can basically still dine together lah.
Mm. Mm.
All right, so also it could be something more memorable, something more unique. And if let's say you put in the effort to know that okay, Hari likes this kind of food, but Annie prefers something else. All right, and
Mm.
then maybe this person prefers that. Right, you can work with a caterer and say yes, it's unique, but I will want to customize every single bento.
Wow, nice.
All right, I mean, so it's something different. I mean, if you think that you can even provide alcohol, All right, for those who can get alcohol, you can always provide a nice bottle of alcohol. All right, and then you can have it delivered to them. Those who cannot have alcohol, you can have the non-alcohol version, the virgin version. Possible, right?
Yeah. And that
Although some
right.
people's hate may be like, well, I'm so lame. But that's not the point. That you will have a majority that find that, wow, imagine it's customized.
Mm, yeah. And that right there just now, ladies and gentlemen, is why you need to hire an event planner. Okay? Because if you're out of the event planning or if you think you can organize, I think the word is you don't know what you don't know,
Yeah. Even
right?
okay, even we as an event organizer, sometimes we don't know. We may miss out. Like example, now during the COVID situation, there are things that is changing like just like that. Like maybe 2 days ago, I speak to STV about certain thing, and then okay, they say, oh, it's my done that. Maybe 2 weeks later, I'm doing something. They're like, huh, no, cannot already.
Mm,
So we may also not know. So at this point, usually we tell client, right, that where the restrictions are concerned, please be a bit more tolerant. It is not that we
mm,
cannot remember.
mm,
Things are changing so fast that we cannot remember.
mm.
Right now with Omicron, we don't know whether would they now suddenly that say, oh, now things got to slow down again. We nobody knows.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Although now our seminar, the zoning, right? Last time zone used to be 50 packs. Now it's 100 packs.
Mm,
So the last we spoke, STB said that they hope that give it a few more months, maybe they can make it to like 200 packs. So
mm,
if the zone is 200 packs and your event is 200 people, that means everybody is together. You can
mm.
intermingle already. But if let's say for some reason Omicron hits and there's some new variant, they may say, sorry, back to 50 packs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we are moving, in events already it's so fluid, right? Now with COVID-19, it's even more fluid.
Mm,
So we can only tell clients say that don't look at us as if thinking that we want to take the easy way out. Nobody wants to
mm,
take the easy way out, but we have to go with the flow of what is allowed at this moment of time. And because a lot of things we want to do is we have to submit to STB for approval. So if
mm.
STB don't approve, then there's nothing to say already.
Correct, correct. I
Mm.
mean, they are the higher authority, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So, Power Pack session, Annie. Thank you so much for sharing
Welcome. See,
your
that's why I keep
6A.
thinking.
So powerful. Guys, if you have any questions before we jump to the last segment of the show, this is a time to ask Annie. Just buy her some like and some comments. And
Danny
uh,
already give one like, so better give him some bonus.
yeah, yes. I think you've already given him the
More
bonus
than enough
already as
bonus.
well. Yes, yes.
Yes.
So, guys, any more questions for Annie? Right?
Don't have. It's Friday
Okay.
night lah. Event
Yeah,
people
yeah,
all go
yeah.
party.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'm quite sure that those who have been on this live event would have gained so much from you, Annie. And thank you so much for sharing so openly. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. I don't think 1 hour was enough. I've attended your classes. So if someone here wants to learn some more, is there an opportunity to learn some more with you?
Yes. By this quarter, I mean the first quarter of 2022, I'll be rolling out my 2-day events course. I'll put it out there. It's not WSQ,
Hmm.
right? In a way, it does irks me, Like people want to attend course because it's
Yeah,
okay
yeah.
lah. I won't
Let's
say
not
lah.
let's not go there.
Okay, so I'm going to within this quarter, I'm going to be launching my 2-day events management course. So of course, I'll be talking about the 6 A's and all that. And on top of it, I'll be sharing in terms of I will also be covering on how to be more sustainable in running events. Okay, so as I mentioned along just now earlier on, it is I will say it's not possible for us to be 100% sustainable. But as an events planner, how do we make it to the best of our ability and our effort? Because not forgetting, some as an event planner, we can manage so much, but sometimes it's your vendor that you're working with who are not. And scarily, sometimes it is the client who don't care.
Yeah.
I remember there was one event we did for a government body. Yeah? We built 4 to 5 nice standees. You know standees,
Yeah.
it's like it's like the size of two doors or slightly shorter than two doors. The width is about the two doors, but the height is slightly shorter. Nice laminated with acrylic, so it's okay, it's nice. It cost the client at least $3,000 to fabricate that. Okay, event was for half a day. So what we did was, then we say, hey, actually, the client can bring it back to their office, display it lah, and then say that this is the this is like the milestone for this year, whatever for last year. Can what? Nice one, right? So we told the client, take that lah. We wrap it properly, we deliver, you all can display. The client said, we check, come back to you. True enough, as what we anticipated. The client called the next day, said, boss said throw. Throw. So you see, so as an events person, we try to tell you, let's do this. But sometimes the client will say, no, we got no space. Boss say throw. Throw. So in that sense, sometimes I tell our fellow events people, so who is supposed to take that responsibility? Is it us or is it the client? It's not we don't want to be sustainable, no. It's the client who say throw. Set right, 12,000 just
Yeah. So this concept of green meetings is actually very interesting. Actually, I think you are probably one of the very few training on green meetings in
Yeah,
Singapore, or
so
maybe
I'll be
yeah.
incorporating in, all right, to see how to cover about it. Actually, to be very honest, when I told people I'm doing this, some have told me that, oh, are you going to share about are you going to add in about how to organize hybrid meeting, how you going to organize the safe distancing, all that. I always tell them, learn the tools, okay? Understand the 6 A's and whatever. Doesn't matter whether it's physical or hybrid or virtual, it is the same. All right, it's just that with hybrid, then you gotta think your whole anticipation, your whole thing, how is it gonna be? Your whole atmosphere, how is it gonna be? Like for example, some people will say that if now this is a virtual event, right? You and I, our camera like that actually it cannot pass one, right? Because our camera, the bulb is all different, so it's not technically it's not very professional or not acceptable.
Conducive, yeah.
It's not conducive. And then like just now because I'm on a hotspot, the thing drops. It is not nice. Okay, so as an event person, I know it's not nice, but I say I just gotta apologize. Go and scold the telco, not me. So these are the things that I will be building in, and I feel that if you understand the whole framework, doesn't matter virtual, small, large, physical, whatever, is the same. What did Danny say?
That's actually quite cool, actually, what Danny said.
Use the 6A to make an event that is awesome, amazing, achievement, acclaim, amusing, and accolade. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll be a 2-day event I'll be running. All right, I'll be sharing and all that. And I'm very thankful. Actually, I got one of my clients who is very much into sustainable, green sustainability, right? To support the cost. Yeah.
Okay, that's
So,
really good because
yeah.
I mean I've attended one of your sessions, your 6A sessions, and I really think I mean that's part of the reason you are here talking to me, because I thought it was really good, and it need to be people need to know to make their lives easier, as well as if they want to learn from you, they can learn from you. But now you're saying you incorporate green meetings, and I think that's really awesome. If people can be educated into making events green, wow, just like food bank, there should be can be an event bank as well. So it's a lot of wastage happens in the mice
In the
industry.
mindset, correct. But the things that I say, right, we have to be realistic. If let's say now you're a carpenter, and your client keep telling you, say, hey, Harry, you keep lah, you keep. How big a workshop are you gonna have?
Correct.
And the client's not going to pay for your workshop space. So at
Correct.
the end of the day, you're going to just what we call hack, trash, and throw. You can't help it.
Yeah.
How many what we call warehouse are you gonna rent? Unless you say the client is paying for your warehouse.
Correct. We need to
Right?
find
If not, you
something
can't.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
How long?
It's a lot of issues. It's a lot of things that the whole industry has to look into.
Yeah. And how long is this course going to be? 2 days event, is it? Your course?
Yeah, it's going to be a 2-day event. Uh, um, we'll probably be rolling out like maybe we'll probably be starting to market it like within this first quarter lah. Yeah, just that now I'm finalizing some details so that we can roll it out.
Would it be an online event or offline event? Depends, is it?
Offline.
Okay,
I
okay,
don't like online.
okay,
I,
okay.
but of course, we depend on situation. If there's a need to have it online, we will do it online.
Yeah. So how would people connect with you to find out more?
They can connect with me via my Facebook, my LinkedIn, no problem. Or you have my WhatsApp. You know, to find me, just text me. All right, yeah,
Any Chan, is it? Any your Facebook is
yes.
any Chan?
Any Chuan, you are right.
Okay. Or
Yes.
redboxevents.com
Revox Events Private Limited. .com.sg.
.com.sg. Okay, so
Yeah.
those are the places you can connect with her. And I am quite shocked being a record holder. You're not considering holding dating events.
Um, Actually, I got people asking me to run dating events and all that, right? And so I told them, I said, I teach you all lah, you're going to run.
Okay, are you
And
teaching?
I am considering whether I want to teach people how to run dating events. All right. I know people say, oh, so does it fall with the 6A? I say, in a way, yes. But one biggest difference with dating events is your target audience is really very, very crucial. Okay, because think about it, you do corporate event, who's your paymaster? The client.
Mm,
We run dating events, who's your paymaster? Every single participant,
the individuals, yeah.
every individual. So their profile itself again is very you have to even more understand their persona. You cannot just say
Mm,
that they're single they just want to look for a partner. No.
mm, mm, mm.
So even more delicate. So you have to understand the profile, then the kind of events you're going to create. That's the activity, right? Then what kind of atmosphere, what kind of how you're going to market it. You're going to market to say that, oh, come attend this event and find your better half. Hello, that's
Mm.
that wrong. No? Then what is the person going to find a better half? You curse your event to the max.
Overpromise.
That yeah, that's really over promise already. Okay, then the
Mm,
atmosphere, then what kind of food do you serve, and then what are amenities. There are a lot more other things that as when you organize dating events, you have to be very mindful of. I even tell my some of my other past learners for dating events. I used to train dating events for an ATO, which I won't say which ATO. I even tell them, I said, do you know that the location for event in terms of parking facilities and all that is also very important. Then
mm.
they're like, how, why? I said very simply, right? If the parking there is expensive, you don't want your participant to be like, okay, what time already? What time finish? Because you don't want them to be worried about they have to pay an arm and a leg to attend this event, right? So even simple things like that.
Ah,
And for
makes
me,
sense.
even more particular, there's one more thing that I'm very, very particular. Even my business partner last time said that I'm a bit too anal. All right. Is this. If I go to an event, if dating events or I'm gonna run a dating events at any location, right? Especially F&B outlet. I say if I walk out of that place smelling like that cafe, chances I will not go back.
Ah,
So I got people asking why? I say very simply. Let's say now you and I we went and attend this event, okay? And we kind of hit it on well, then we start to go for coffee and all that time. Then but when we walk out, and then you realize that you kind of like smell of that cafe. I say, okay, maybe not everybody is sensitive about it. I say, but to me, I'll be very cautious about it.
mm, mm,
I'll be wondering whether if I sit at the Starbucks next, right, will the beer walk past me, will be wondering, this woman smell like that.
mm, mm,
I said I don't like that. So I said, so
mm,
because of that, sometimes I will tell my learner, make sure you don't do that. I said, because you want everybody to have a nice feeling. You want them to feel good about it, smelling good when they go for maybe a coffee thereafter. So the
mm.
least you could do is ensure that the place don't smell of, they don't smell of that when they leave the place. I said, unless you
Mm.
say this event is a teppanyaki dinner, then okay lah, everybody will smell the same. Right?
Yeah.
So I say, so even to that extent.
Mm. Okay. Very minute. I mean,
Very minute, right?
yeah, I would think that uh, given your expertise and all that, you should run a dating event training as well. Uh, if people want to
I'm
know,
thinking, okay, let me think about it. Let me sleep on it.
yeah, if people want it, they'll still contact you, right?
Yes, contact me at the same place. I
Yeah.
do believe that the dating event space, the dating events, possibly will have space lah. All right. There's definitely still enough players to go around. All right, and I think that's where my bragging right lah. Having done 1,000 events, I think I do know what makes or break a dating event.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You have a brand for dating as well, right?
The Madame N.
Yeah, yeah,
Actually, I got another one, but never mind. Just go with Madame M. It's good.
yeah, yeah. It's really cool.
Too many,
You,
right? I think I need to streamline.
you can have a dating event training. I mean, dating event per se online as well. I think right nowadays.
Can dating event online can, but no fun nah. You see, dating events sometimes how it works is because you must create events that allow the singles to have opportunity of touch. Virtual
Mm.
event touch, right? How touch. Right? I mean, when we say touch, we don't mean
Yeah, out
how to
of
say
context
way of
touch. Yeah.
it's like for example, let's say we do an activity together, we cook together, we do some paintwork together. That opportunity of touch sometimes can create that chemistry.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of
That that
little
that right
things
there
behind.
shows you have done more than 1,000 events, right? So you know what you're talking
Yes.
about.
Yes.
Okay, I think how long have we gone now? We have almost gone. What we started 5, 9, 5. Wow, 1.5 hours. Really.
Yes. What did
Any
Danny
last
say?
questions? Last minute
Danny was
questions?
working with recycling company on how to recycle those props. Yes, Danny. Actually, I was in talks with some of these people before, but somehow things couldn't materialize lah. Yeah, we have so a couple of us have actually spoke to some of those companies who are very into sustainability. At the end of the day, right, the recycling firm people needs to do because not everything can be recycled. Right? For example, some of them will tell you, oh, you know the wood you paint already, right? Sometimes they'll tell you say it's not. They can't exactly recycle. They need to don't know do what, then they can recycle. So those are extra costs for them.
Mm.
Then like some will say, oh, you know our canvas, right? You print canvas, then you put on aspect drop, right? They'll say, oh, bring to Batam lah. You say, yeah, but now who's gonna bring to Batam? And how
To
many
do
of this
what
kind
there?
of bags can you do? No, they mean you bring the canvas, they bring them to Batam, some of the villages in Batam, they will cut, they will make into bags, into recyclable bag. Ma.
I see. I see.
So we say, but again, you gotta make sure the ink that is printed on them doesn't run and the ink that they use to print is not toxic.
Mm.
Right? I say so when it's going to be used for this kind of extra cases, right? Then we gotta ensure that the paint is not toxic. Imagine it's
Mm.
toxic, right? And I made into table runner. Problem, no table placemat. Yeah,
Mm.
it's ingenious, but the table placemat, what if the foot drop and then you don't know that ink is toxic? You know,
Mm.
with even your 3 second rule, you draw it, I never take it.
Mm.
How?
Mm.
So there's a lot of these other nuances that it's easy to say, oh, let's find a recycling company and do it. Yes, but there's all these other little things. And
Mm.
then when we say we print all these things for events, in our mind, when we print, it's really just for the event purpose. 3 hour, 1 hour, 2 days, 1 week, finish, throw. But if let's say now there's going to be a secondary use for it and all these things come into play, then we have to be a bit more mindful.
Mm.
And and
Excellent.
and all that we're gonna if they say, oh, between toxic and non-toxic pay, 50% more. You tell
Mm.
me will the client pay?
Mm.
Answer is no.
Mm.
The client don't pay means you use the normal toxic paint, all
Yeah.
right, or not so healthy paint, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That even that small nugget was fantastic knowledge, Annie. Thanks so much.
So you know you owe me data.
Yeah. 10 likes and one theta. Okay, so guys, if
Yes.
you have no questions, I would like to extend a very, very, very big thank you to Miss Annie Chan.
Thank you so much for having me on a
Yes,
Friday night. I should be
yeah,
having my sake.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry. Thank
How
you
you know?
for
Maybe inside is right.
thank you for taking time and really, I think I learned a lot. I'm quite sure the audience learned a lot. Uh, any last words, Annie, before we shut down the stream?
Prata as well. No, don't have. But thank you so much for tuning in. I think this live is going to be around for a while. So for those who have missed it, no worries. I mean, you can always watch it again. All right. So, but I say thank you, Hari, for having me. So for those who have watched on Facebook, on LinkedIn, you can always connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn. I've actually also shared the show. All right. Feel free to connect with me if you'd like to know more about the course and all that. Right. Just connect with me and If you represent an organization and you want this to be for your organization, just let me know. I have conducted for organization before, specific for organization. So then we will tweak it, or I will tweak it to suit you a little bit more.
Okay. What's your email, Annie?
My email,
Yeah.
Annie.
At
Do you want to type it or you type it for me?
you
Can I?
I'll type it for you.
Okay.
ANNIE at
ANNIE@redboxevents.com.sg.
box events events
Yep. Dot
dot
com dot
com
sg.
dot
You want my
sg.
Facebook? Whatever.
Yeah, sure. So
Wait
Annie's email is on the chat, guys.
Mm, my Facebook. Where do I put? I give it to you. Okay, my Facebook is here. That's
Yeah.
my Facebook.
But anyway, you can find her as Annie Chan on Facebook, LinkedIn as well. I believe they have a Redbox Events LinkedIn page as well.
Yes,
You can hunt them down there as well.
hunt me
Uh,
down.
yeah,
Okay, I've
and
shared both my Facebook and my LinkedIn with you. You
yeah,
can cut and paste that. Who is that?
yeah.
Oh,
So
someone
that
suddenly got another stream.
those are from YouTube.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, thanks guys. I think we'll just call it a day. Thank you for coming. Thank you for Annie for sharing.
so
Appreciate
what?
your.
You want me to put my Facebook link there now? How do I share?
You haven't
Start,
shared.
How do I
Uh,
start?
uh, does it come out? I've
Wait,
actually put it on my SME Academy Asia, where the stream is going to be. So it will be there.
Only my email, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
you
your
want me to
Facebook?
put my, okay, wait, I can give, this is my Facebook. I'll just type it in,
Yeah.
where you put my email, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Uh, yeah, it's there. Okay. Cool. So,
All right.
okay. All right.
Thank you so
Annie, thank you so
much.
much. Guys, bye bye.
Have
See
a
you
good
maybe in a week or
weekend.
two.
See
Yeah.
you
Have a good
soon.
weekend and see you guys later.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.